Michael, thanks so much for joining us. Final home game of the season this weekend. Champions League football secured a good time to reflect on things, I suppose. When you came in back in January, you said about a big job to do. What were those first things on the list that you wanted to get done here?
To make sure everyone's together was a big part of it. I think there's a lot of talented people in the football club in different roles, different responsibilities. Players obviously get the main attention and kind of rightly so, but there's making sure we're all together and looking after each other, pulling in the same direction, and then letting the talent kind of flow from there, you know. And that's probably been the biggest thing that we've gone for, the spirit, the belief, the looking after each other, and that's taken us so far quite a long way.
It looked like the club needed calm as much as coaching in that moment. Did you feel that was a responsibility of yours to come in and provide that stability? That's a word that's been used a lot.
Yeah, I'd say so. And happily admit that in terms of the preference or priority was for that of managing the group, managing the club, managing the situation a little bit, and giving us the platform really to be able to go and perform, you know. And there's the elements of the balance of the coaching and how we want to kind of progress that through the season, and of getting the balance with how much we went down that route, how much we went down the belief and the confidence in the players and supporting the players. So it's not clean cut one or the other. It's trying to get that balance right, but we definitely prioritised, I'd say, the emotional side and the support side and the control and the stability side, and try to progress it from there.
Interesting you mentioned there the confidence, because I listened to Bruno Fernandes, who did an interview with Gary Neville for Sky, and he was saying that before you came in they'd concede a goal and straight away they'd feel like, oh, it's happening again. You know, that confidence, that belief in themselves wasn't there. How did you go about changing that to a team now that looks like they're brimming with confidence? Just
try and be there to show them support and understand. Listen, it's an unbelievable position to be in. It's a dream position to be in, to play for this football club, but it can be challenging, and there's ups and downs, and you've got to be ready to go through them. You've got to understand, actually, you're not going through them on your own. We can all be there for each other, and you're not fighting your own battle. I think that's important to understand. Yeah, and confidence is a funny thing in sport, and sometimes it can come back really quickly, but more the belief. You know, I've got so much belief in the group of players, and I think that's probably more of words, but I think it's probably more of how you act and how you show that then feeds off into them, and the boys have taken it on really well.
Was there specific techniques as well, day to day, like showing them clips of them when they were at their best, or little things like that you did?
There's little things you can do. I think in the end it's your behaviours and how you treat them, the players, how you treat the staff, and treating each other, basically. I think there's it's not one meeting or one thing that you do that kind of sets the whole kind of narrative or direction that you want to go in. I think it's just daily behaviours and how you treat people and speak to people, and trying to get the best out of the players, for sure. In the end, that's what we're all here for. So keep trying to do that.
So that's kind of the side away from the pitch, and on the pitch, switching the formation, going to the four at the back. Did you know as soon as you came in that you wanted to set up that way tactically, and what did that get out of your team straight away?
Yeah, we had to know straight away, because I think the first training session was Wednesday. We played City on the Saturday, so
quick turnaround.
We had to act fast. Yeah, it just felt a natural decision and a natural direction for us to go in. Of how we wanted the team to look a little bit, really, to be honest, and we obviously got off to a really good start. The boys took a lot of the information on really well, really quickly, and then we kind of took it step by step after that.
And tactically as well, moving Bruno Fernandes into the 10, he's got so much praise this season, such an incredible season that he's had. Why did putting him in that role make such a difference for him in terms of the creativity and what it's unlocked? As he said recently, it gets the best out of him, that position.
I've known Bruno. I was here when he arrived at the club and worked with him then for quite some time. I've known him, and I just felt in my eyes, I prefer him in that position. I think he's really dangerous. I think he can do a lot of good things, Bruno, and all over the pitch, and to adapt and play different roles, he shows he can do that. And there's times when he needs to do that for the team, but for me, ultimately, play him in that position where he can use his real strengths, and he's been a big impact. Well, he's definitely had a big impact on us over the last few months.
I've seen that someone might call this the Bruno Fernandes season, which probably pretty accurate because of the impact he's had. But there's other players as well that feel like they've really been unlocked since you've arrived, and one in particular is Kobbie Mainoo, who signed a new contract recently. What version of him do you think we're seeing at the moment?
Yeah, first of all, I think Bruno will admit himself it's not about him, it's about the team. He said it himself, he picked up awards and he picks up a lot of awards, and it's great for him.
He enjoys it, but it's about the team.
So, of course, yeah, but I think he totally understands how important the team and the whole group are for that. But yeah, Kobbie's done really well. I think part of being a young player at the top level is you're going to get ups and downs. You're going to have periods in your career where it goes really well. You're going to have more challenging ones where you lose form maybe, or you get injured, or you're out the team, and that's natural. I don't think there's many, if any, career that's gone and kept going in that one direction all the way through season to season for 10, 15 years. So that's just part of living in this life, really. And but I think to be kind of not playing football for a period of time, to come back to finding his rhythm really quickly and getting used to playing and putting the level of performances, he needs a lot of credit for that, because that's it's not such a simple thing to do, and he's got better as the season's gone, you know, and there's still a lot more to come from him. And
do sometimes players need an arm putting around them and a bit more of that personal support?
Depends which player, but it depends what situation. I think there's
Kobbie then, for example.
there's no right or wrong. Again, you're going back to the coaching side earlier. For me, coming in was more to give him the belief and the confidence that I've got in him, and over time keep trying to help him with certain things. But trusting him was the biggest thing, and hopefully he felt that from the start.
He said recently, talking about you, we want to die for him on the pitch. You hear a lot of players reflecting at the moment about how hard they want to work for you, and I know you're a very humble character and you don't like talking too much about the impact you made, but how do you think you've got the players feeling like that they want to work so hard specifically for you?
Hopefully they feel that I care about them. You know, ultimately we care about the players, we care about each other, and we're here to do a job and get results and produce a fantastic football team. We want the best football team, but it's certainly me and my staff, we care about what we do, and so I think that element of that connection ultimately, and it's about people, you know, whatever role you're in, whatever job you're in, whatever organisation, it's about getting the best out of each other and people, and trying to lead in a way where they want to be part of it and they want to give that little bit extra for you, and it goes same for me and to the team. So I think hopefully that feeling, it's not always has to be polite, it's not always support. It's support. Sometimes that we need to get the best of them, get the best out of them in different ways, but that's obviously the challenges that we face as we evolve and time goes on.
Do you have that side to you then? Because you always seem very calm and composed.
There's a time and a place. I think emotions are part of the game as well, and you've got to use your emotions. Sometimes it's that anger, and being angry sometimes is good, it fires you up. Sometimes using disappointment to fire you up. Sometimes it's a little bit of calmness to say, oh, it's actually all right, no problem, everything will be all right. You just got to get that balance right. But I don't think you can be in the game, especially here, for so long and not having a little bit of a bite in you now and again.
So you mentioned there the relationships and the culture is a big thing for you in terms of being a manager, developing those personal relationships. You have a lot to do with players away from here, which is your place of work.
Certainly understanding the backgrounds, the culture, where they've come from, what they're used to, families, extended families, you know, trying to get an understanding of that, of each player and each member of staff as a person, to know what kind of, how they think, what's going to try and get the best out of them, like I just said. So certainly I think that's an important part, not just what they're like when the ball comes to them on a football pitch.
On a personal level then, for you, what do you feel you've learnt about yourself in the last 5 months? I've learnt, it's a strange one. Obviously I've done the games before for a really short, so I kind of, in the role itself, I kind of feel the same as I did then a little bit, that it kind of was a natural evolution in some ways of the next step. So feel like coming home in a way.
Yeah, and I really don't want it to sound that blasé or getting ahead of myself. It just feels right. It feels a good place for me to be in, really, and a huge responsibility. I get all that, but really enjoy what I do, you know, and just keep striving to try and make this place better.
You got a favourite moment? It's been some good wins.
Yeah, it's difficult to say, because sometimes it's the, you know, probably City one. The City game would have been the first game, and the energy and the passion in the stadium was incredible. But then it's something like winning away at Everton, and Ben scoring, and having to fight and scrap and defend and show the spirit. There's so many different parts of it, individual performances, improvements in individuals. I don't think there's one that kind of stands out, but you know, Kobbie's goal and getting the winner against Liverpool at the Stretford end it's tough to beat that one.
Yeah, and I know, like I just mentioned, you don't like to give yourself too much credit, but you've been shortlisted for Premier League Manager of the Season. Congratulations for that. Do you give yourself a bit of credit for the job that you've done here, and the fact that you've got Champions League football secured, and the future of this club feels like it's heading in a positive direction?
Certainly understand, you know, what's gone on, and take a lot of kind of pride in that. In terms of the award and the nomination, yeah, you know, it's nice, it's good. It just shows that we're as a group we've done some good work. So it's nice that we can have moved forward and improved a lot of things since we've been here, and try and keep that pushing on and improving as we go.
In terms of moving forward, I know you've just been sat in a press conference room, asked about it loads, but you've spoken about how clarity is important, not just for you, but for everyone, and for the fans and for the club and the players. Do you feel like we're closer to getting that clarity?
It was said, to be fair, from the start, it was towards the end of the season, if not the end of the season, and we're kind of nearly there. We're not quite there yet. I've been telling the players there's still a bit of work to do, but in terms of timelines, it's you know, it's going to be clear. Whatever happens is going to be clear pretty soon. So we're just working towards the games, to be honest, and keep pushing, trying to finish strong, and then see what happens after that.
I'm sure it must be nice to hear players like Casemiro backing you and saying you deserve the opportunity to be here longer term and build on what you've built this season.
I think it just shows kind of how we've worked through the last few months, and trying to get the best out of the players, and obviously they appreciate the work that me and as well as the staff especially have done, and I think that's important. Like I've just said about trying to get the best out of people that you kind of respect and trust each other, so it's nice that some of the boys are saying that.
Who have you lent on the most during the 5 months here?
Apart from my kids.
They tell me
what to do.
Do they?
Oh, they tell me what to do.
What do they do? Tell you line up suggestions, things like that?
They're just two big supporters, so they just constantly tell me what to do.
So when there's not been a good result, you're not just feeling it for yourself, you're going home and your kids are telling you.
What's happened today, Dad? But no, on a serious note, I think that all the backroom staff, I have to say, I know they get the headlines of the you know, Steve, Woody, Johnny, Trav, Craig, in terms of our coaching group. I think the backroom staff, the wider staff have been incredible. The support that we've had, and I've had personally since I've came back. You know, you feel that, and you lean on people in different ways. But certainly, as a coaching staff, we're really tight knit. Considering we didn't really know each other on a personal level before that, I think it's pretty special to come together as a group and get on so well. How
long do you think it will take for this side to be at a similar level to when you were in your playing days here and Manchester United were at their best? How much work is there still to do? I always think it's really tough to put a real, you know, deadline or a time on something. It's sport, you know, things can happen in different ways. So, but I just think keep moving in a direction as a club and in a positive way. It could take a year, could take 2 years, it maybe take 3 years, but I think consistently moving in a direction is what we want, and we keep striving for. Maybe see you on the mic on Sunday for the final home game? Yeah, we'll see. I won't be singing though. Thank you very much. Good luck. Cheers.